Hi, and welcome to this new video and podcast concept called Nomadic Business Insight. These episodes will be short 15 minutes insight into my life. My name is George and what I'm doing, and I'll be sharing tips and tricks along the way from everything between earth and sky that is related to business, building companies, working remote, and traveling as a digital nomad.
You are listening to LD Podcast. Would you like to publish with us? Tell us your story at www.ld.studio/podcasts. Edited and published by LD Studio.
So I'll be covering a lot of different topics in these videos. Mostly I'll just be diving deep into where I am currently in my life, mistakes I'm doing as a business owner and leader, and good things I'm doing, things I'm learning, so that everyone who's listening in or watching this can learn from it and hopefully not do the same mistakes or also be doing even better. I'll be recording these videos every 2 weeks and I'll be uploading them to YouTube and to every major podcast platform so you can listen to them or watch the videos if you'd like to. First and foremost, I'd like to share a bit about my personal background. I am a digital entrepreneur, but I've also worked and built physical companies. The last 7 years, I built a lot of different companies with my wife and co-founder, Ansilva, which is also sitting behind me here with our daughter, Sakira. First of all, when we started working remote, we really never had a real job. We didn't go to uni more extensive than doing a couple of programs, and then we already before that had started several small projects. I had, for example, done a climbing instructor program for almost 1.5 years that did really well, that I passed on. And then we moved into film and photography, and from there on we picked up more and more commissioned jobs, and eventually we decided to build a marketing agency, which became LD Studio. And after, let's say, 1 year on the road working remotely, we decided that we really would like to have a physical work environment. We would really like to have the experience of building a team of colleagues, having an office or a studio facilities. So we decided to go back to our hometown in Norway called Ålesund, which is a very nice small city on the Norwegian west coast. Mostly the economic is based in fishing, oil and gas, and everything involving blue industry. So there is a lot of strong companies that we could build up on as a marketing agency, and also a lot of technology clients. So in 2019, we founded the company, also doing several NGO projects like a major beach cleanup project called Rydmøre and building an audiovisual academy for kids and youth. I'll be touching back on these topics later and tell you all about them. For now, I just really want to briefly touch down in my personal background. But so yeah, we built that company for around 3.5 years, every year making around a 60-70% increase in income. But in 2023, I felt personally, and we as owners felt, that we had aimed too high and there was too many stakes. If clients would pull out or something wouldn't go as planned. So by that time, we didn't even see the numbers to cover the kind of future we aim for. So we decided to build that sort of company down again. By that time, we'd already opened a second studio location in a close by city, which we sadly took down again after around 2 years. But so 2023 has been a personal tough year because it's been about letting people go from their jobs. Has been about building down safely without having any chaos happening. But it's also been one of the years where I've learned the most as an entrepreneur and business owner. And it's like everyone says who has been building companies, is that every successful entrepreneur will go through at least one kind of bankruptcy or de-establishing or building down process. And if they haven't, they've just been extremely lucky, or they haven't really been entrepreneurs. So I guess this is maybe one of our first periods like that. I really hope to do things better in the future, so we're not touching into something like that again, because it has been tough going from around 12 employees down to a very different sort of company. But I'll be sharing more on that matter in a future episode. The marketing agency is called LD Studio, and it's still running perfectly. We're running quite a different way these days. It's a matter I'd like to share quite a bit on in the future, but we've also built some other companies. We built a thrift shop in Ålesund. We're working on building up a restaurant, and as I mentioned, we've also kickstarted and kind of being the founders of Scandinavia's biggest digital academy for kids, which has had an amazing growth the last years. So that's a bit about me personally. More than that, I'd only like to share that I'm originally from Germany, but my parents moved to Norway when I was around 4 years old, where I've been kind of residing since we started to move out and travel when we were around 18, 19. Me and Sylvia met in 2012, so when we were around 17 years old. And I've had a very nice and calm upbringing. My parents have given me a lot of opportunities. I've learned a lot, and that's probably also why I become the person I am today, liking to take risk, liking to challenge myself, and liking to build communities and projects involving people. Right now, we are in Ecuador. We just got our daughter, Sakira, about 6.5 months ago. So it was planned that by the entering of 2024, we wanted to go remote again. After 4 to 5 years in Norway, Ålesund, where we balanced physical work life and traveling and digital work life, we have decided to once again go 100% digital. So we'll be just moving around in the world, going where the wind takes us, and we'll see how that works out with our different companies. So right now we're here in Ecuador, in South America, living in a very beautiful villa up in the jungle close to the sea. I'm enjoying a lot of time surfing, and Sakira is growing up in warm temperatures, which we really wanted because we wanted to enjoy lots of close contact with our young baby without all the clothes. And so there is different challenges we wanted to avoid living in a cold climate like Norway. But we have actually bought a house. From before, we own apartments in Norway, so we're kind of moving a bit into the property market. But we also bought a house in North Norway on in a place called Lofoten, which is quite famous for its mountains and surf. So we'll be moving there around September or October 2024. Until then, we'll be here in South America and also maybe traveling a bit around in Europe this coming summer. And in terms of my current business life, just to give you like a brief touchdown, what we're working on currently and what we're doing is, actually the last 2 weeks I haven't been working because we just came from a family vacation here in Ecuador. Believe it or not, we are taking vacations whilst we're traveling because this is a lifestyle for us. It's not, we're not here in Ecuador on vacation. We're kind of living here now. So we came from a 2 weeks vacation where we went visiting a lot of different volcanoes, which was very nice. But in the midst of that, before that, and what I'm starting to work with again now is as a chairman, so the chairman of the board in the Diga Foundation, we're currently working on some major reporting to our different sponsors, and we're actually having a little bit of a troubling period. It's not something major difficult, but it is, we've been handling it really well. But the situation that has been happening is that we have been required to report extensively on our last 3 years of operation. So it's obviously taken a long time to make those reports and send them in. And now we're in a kind of uncomfortable situation, because you never know until the reports have been validated and confirmed if you're getting the same sort of support in the future, or if your support is cancelled or reduced. Everything can be. So this is one of the big things running NGOs and in general NGO projects. You always rely on the support. So everyone who has been in this industry doing projects for a beneficial cause know how this feels, and I'll be sharing more on it in a future episode. But yeah, so that's currently a position we are in. We have also had to lay off certain people in the foundation just to make sure that in case some of our financials are reduced, that we're not over hiring in the foundation. And also in LD Studio, in the marketing agency, we're in the process of signing 2 to 3 new major communication clients. So I'll also be sharing a bit on that process during the coming weeks. And we're building a fully remote CRM sales team, which is something I have experience in from before, but we're doing it in a bit untraditional way. So that's an exciting process that I'm looking forward to share more on. Yeah, that's a bit about where we are currently. The future episodes, I've already listed a couple of topics that I want to touch down in the coming weeks. One of them obviously being the whole process of constructing down LD Studio and also partly running the company in a bankruptcy. That's what it's called by books, but it's kind of like putting down one company and operating a new one. I'll also do a full episode on the history of the Diga Foundation, how we established it, how we achieved major national funding, and what our future plans in the foundations are. I think I'll be doing a own episode and probably even a whole own series and a learning group experience on financing and funding. I've received a lot of questions on how we are able to fund so many different projects through national and local supports. So that I've understood it the way that many people are interested how we achieve those kind of funding. So I think it's interesting to do an episode on that. And one thing I always also want to do a little episode is the biggest takeaways I have from employing people, both positives and negatives, because I think a lot of people are interested to learn about while building their businesses, when to employ people, when to employ more people, what kind of people to employ, and what kind of qualities to look for. So that's definitely an episode I want to do. And also how to build or failing to build liquidity in companies, especially working as a digital nomad. There is many ways you can manage this, and there's many different strategies you can use. So I think doing an episode on that is also very interesting. And one last episode I also know that I will be doing is how to build a successful CRM team, a successful sales team. I know that a lot of digital nomads that try to build their companies feel alone in the sales process, and there is a lot of help out there that you can get. So I definitely want to share some tips on that too. This time I think that's it. I said initially these episodes going to be very short and rough. So I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown of this new concept. Keep in mind to always check out ld.studio, which is our main company. I'll put the links down below for our hiring site. We're always looking for a lot of different talents. So check out the positions we have posted there. And I'll also be featuring a lot of new blog posts the coming months. So I'll put the link for our blog and newsletter in this episode so you can check it out. And that's it for this time. Thanks guys for listening in, and I'll see you around in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you for listening to LD Podcast. We are continuously looking for the most talented innovators. No matter your background or expertise, shoot us an email at highfive@ld.studio with your skills and portfolio.